All right! Hello, everybody! Welcome back to Mahoyo. Last time, Touko wasted 0 time in trying to take down another one of the safety nodes. But Alice was right there to confront them, since there were 2 nodes left. Alice and Alco had to split up and guard different ones, and by the luck of the draw, it was Alice who got the correct one. They got into a big fight. Like, it really seemed like Alice was gonna win because she summoned the big giant stone golem, but Touko apparently had made friends with, like, the most powerful godlike golden werewolf to ever exist. It was still just a kid somehow. And yeah, it totally took her down effortlessly. And Touko gave Soujirouu one last chance to stay neutral in the conflict, but he chose to save Alice, thereby cementing himself as officially on their side and as a target also in this battle. Oh boy. Wow, and Alice is also barely alive. She's only alive because of her regen ability. And let's get back to where we were. Hello, doors. Hello, Hollow Mirage. Once they entered the mansion, Alice slid off Soujirou's back and walked toward the West Wing. The West Wing was her domain. However, after only a few steps, she collapsed to the floor.
Alice!
Alice! Soujirouu rushed over to her, but she raised her hand. Her gesture told him he was not to come closer. Hello, Advisambuk in the stream. He stopped in his tracks, a concerned look on his face. Her pale skin gleamed with sweat, her expression uncharacteristically strained.
平気。部屋に戻るぐらいの力は戻ったわ。服を繕ってくるから、あなたはここにいて。
I'm fine. I can make it to my room on my own. Stay here. I'm going to mend my clothes.
すぐに戻ってくるから。そうしたら。
I'll be back shortly, and then... The pained look in Alice's eyes told Soujirouu they would talk later. He knew he could not stop her. Soujirouu reminded himself that she was the one in pain, not him.
それじゃあ、戻ってきたら話を聞かせてくれ。
Alright then. Tell me everything when you come back.
Alice took a deep breath before slowly disappearing down the corridor. An uneventful 5 minutes passed. Alice returned wearing a fresh set of black clothes, but her complexion remained pallid. With a small sigh, she carefully leaned against a pillar in the foyer and slid down until she was sitting.
アリス、傷が痛むなら無理せず横になった方がいい。
Alice, if you're in pain, you should lie down.
Soujirouu sat across from her on the cold floor.
傷はもう痛まないわ。横になる必要もない。
I'm not in pain anymore, so I don't need to lie down.
この体の異常は七かまどを飲まされたせいだから。どうあっても治らないもの。
I was forced to swallow a rowan, so my body can't heal completely.
じゃあ、せめて毛布とか。
At least let me get a blanket for you.
いいから、気遣いはしないで。 ここなら寒さも関係ないから。
No. If I stay here, the cold won't bother me. She seemed to be telling the truth. Soujirouu remembered Alko telling him that as long as Alice is inside the mansion, she would be comfortable.
あったかいのならいい。
Okay, as long as you're warm.
それで七かまどっていうのは。
So what's this rolling thing?
薬草の一種よ。7回かまどで焼いても燃え残ることから付けられた名前で、紅葉は魔除け。
It's a kind of medicinal herb. It gets its name from what's left in the cinders after it's burned 7 times in a stove. And it's used as a ward against spirits.
普通の人には良くない程度だけど、私や青子には少し厄介ね。体内での魔力生成そのものに抵抗されてしまうから手の打ちようがない。
It's not good for regular people, but for me and Alko it's worse. Once it's in our bodies, it reacts badly to the production of magical energy, and there's nothing we can do but wait it out.
毒と思っていいのか。
So it's a poison?
いえ、本来は薬草よ。
No, like I said, it was originally used in medicine.
今は傷を治すために魔力を使っているから苦しいけど、傷が完治すればおとなしくなるわ。魔術さえ使わなければ七かまども反応しないから。
I'm using magical energy to heal right now, so I'm having to fight it. But once I'm fully healed, I'll be fine, as long as I don't use magecraft.
単純な話、七かまどを消化するまで私は役には立たないだけ。
Basically, I won't be of any use until I fully digest it. Alice paused. She decided not to say how many days that would take.
別にしずきくんが心配することじゃないわ。
Damn, so it looks like she'll be out of commission for like the rest of the game. Anyway, it's nothing you need to worry about.
こんなの血が流れる程度の痛みだか
I can manage the pain. It's just a result of my circulation. She worked hard to keep her tone calm. Alko had barely blinked when she was struck in the back, so mages must have an unusually high pain threshold. Soujirouu was surprised and bewildered by what she said. If wounds didn't count as long as the pain wasn't too bad, then nothing would hurt except an injury that killed you.
わかった。話をするのは明日にしよう。今日はとにかく体を休めてほしい。
Fine. Let's talk tomorrow. For now, I want you to rest.
明日になっても私の容体は変わらないけど。
I won't be any better then.
いいんだ、それでも。アリスはもっと体を大事にしてくれ。
It doesn't matter. You need to take better care of yourself.
He stood up.
部屋まで送るよ。それとも今で休むか？西館には入ったことはないから、アリスの部屋もわからないし。
I'll take you to your room. Or how about the drawing room? I've never been to the West Wing, so I don't know where your room is.
ここでいいわ。青子を待たなくちゃいけないから。
I'm fine here. I need to be here when Alko comes back. Alice looked up at the skylight. The moonlight illuminated her pained face. The foyer looked like it belonged to a run-down castle. Only the moon and Alice seemed more vivid than reality. Where did her strength come from? Soujirouu stared at her. understanding the significance of Alice's gaze, he turned his gaze to the night sky, powerless as it was. For the third time that night, the silence was broken by the sound of the phone ringing. Before Soujirouu could move, a thin shadow bolted across the foyer. By the time he realized it was the weakened Alice, she heard her taking the receiver in her hand. Alco? For the first time, Soujirouu had heard Alice sound concerned. Her tone was infinitely graver than when she was enduring her own pain. Alice's question received only a short response from the voice on the other end. Really? It was a voice more frail than Alice's, like a flickering flame about to turn to smoke. What the? What? Who got you? Touko was with us! Sorry. They got me. The phone was far from Soujirouu's ears, but the words he picked up were very unlike her. Despite saying so little, no, because she had said so little, the weight of Alco's defeat struck Soujirouu hard. They shouldn't have tried to min-max. They really should have just given up one of the nodes and concentrated their forces at the other. Then they would have probably won if they worked together. Alice silently set the receiver down. Only moments before, her body had been fighting the pain. Now it felt stronger than ever. It was like a scarecrow transforming into a beautiful stone statue. Seeing this, Soujirouu finally understood. Alice's expression when she looked at the moon had come from her trying to accept an immutable reality. Even snow. Which, what is that? Oh, wow. Oh, shit. It is serious business time. If we're getting to chapter names that are named after the story, let's see where we are book-wise. Damn, yeah, we're getting there. Yeah, it looks like it's all gonna end on Christmas. Whoo boy. How apropos. I wonder, wow. With the way things are going. I wonder if we're gonna end the story like around the time when it actually is in the story. Let's go. Yeah, there's no extra chapters. Hello, Blink, welcome to the stream. Hello, Gyro, welcome to the stream. Alco had not hung up, but the line remained silent. Alice set down the receiver, quickly put on her mantle, and made for the entrance, moving her injured bodies by sheer willpower alone. Along the way, she paused, turned to Soujirouu, and looked directly at him.
青子に何かあったんだな。
Aoko's in trouble, isn't she?
Alice hesitated for a moment before pushing aside her anxiety and grabbing his hand. Oh shit!
しずきくん、一緒に来て。
Suzuki, come with me.
待ってくれ。一緒にってどこに？
Wait, where are we going?
間教会まで。青子の方はエイリ神父にお願いするしかない。
Is he a wizard? To Ida Church. We need to ask Father Irie for help.
間教会って病院の横にある。
Ida Church. That's next to the hospital, isn't it?
そう。知っているのなら問題ないわね。説明する手間も省けたわ。
Good, you know it. That'll save me time explaining. Alice left the mansion and made her way down to the tree-lined path. She was clearly determined, but the look in her eyes betrayed her pain.
アリス、連絡をするなら電話は？
Alice, wait! Shouldn't we call ahead?
Soujirouu asked Alice, whose grip on his hand was light but unyielding.
教会の人にならもう知らせた。
The church already knows.
もしかして病院のことを言っているなら、それこそ無駄よ。ハイヤーなんて言うけど、空を飛ぶわけでもないし、今は助けを呼ぶより、助けに行かないと間に合わない。
And if you're talking about the hospital, no need. It's quicker for us to go and help them than call for a car. They can't fly. Oh shit! Is she gonna fly him? Oh wow. Alice had thought of everything. She turned to the mansion and lightly snapped her fingers. In response, a window opened and countless starlings took flight.
1番隊は索敵。2番隊と3番隊は現場に向かって応急処置を。在庫切れになってもいいわ。
Group 1, search for the enemy. Groups 2 and 3, proceed to the scene and administer first aid. Haste is paramount.
まだ生きているなら、青子の心臓を止めないで。
If Alco is still alive, do not let her heart stop. Alice commanded the birds firmly. How did she fight them both at once? What the hell?
しずきくんは裏庭から青子の自転車を持ってきて。
Did she also have an ally? Aside from the werewolf that was with her? Suzuki, fetch Alco's bicycle from the rear courtyard. Soujirouu let slip his discomfort at the thought of that thing. The custom-made red bicycle. When he was cleaning the incinerator, Alco had verbally assaulted him for nearly scratching it.
いいけど、どうするつもりなんだ、アリスは。
Okay, but what's the plan?
ここにいるより教会にいた方がしずきくんは安全よ。それに私も急がないといけない。
Oh.
しずきくん、二人乗りできる？
You're much safer at the church than here, and I need to hurry. Can you take us both, Suzuki? Oh, she's trying to protect him. Well, Soujirouu had seen people riding tandem. I was confident he could imitate them. He still wasn't quite certain he could trust a bicycle with his life. Moreover, its frame was so light he was unsure it could support both their weights.
二人乗りってことは、アリスが後ろに乗るのか？
Wait, you mean you want us to ride on the back?
できないならいいわ。
Jeez. If it's too much, then I don't need your help. Alice turned away as if to snub him, then began walking. Unfortunately for Soujirouu, he was now on her bad side.
いや、そういう意味じゃないんだ。アリスとはイメージが合わなかったから。
Hey, don't get me wrong. It's just I never expected you to ask me to do something like that.
Ignoring his pleas, she continued briskly toward the woods. There was no way she was going to ride the bike now. Sensing her step and streak, he desperately called out to her.
待った。今のはこっちが悪かった。すぐに持ってくるから、怒るのはつけにしておいてくれ。
I take it back. I'm sorry. I'll go get it right now. You can take your anger out of me later.
Alice stopped. As soon as he saw her stop, he hurried to the rear courtyard, grabbed the key from where it was hanging, and used it to unlock Alco's bicycle. By the time Soujirouu rode it back to the front of the mansion, Alice was continuing toward the forest.
アリスの性格、なんとなくつかめてきたな。
I think I finally have you figured out, Alice.
Muttering to himself, he straddled the bike. He rested his foot on a pedal. It felt light but sturdy. Confident the bike could support his weight and Alice's, he began pedaling.
アリス、
Alice!
She turned as he called out to her, before shooting him a piercing glare.
行こう。後ろの荷台に乗ってくれ。でもクッションがないから痛いと思う。辛かったら言ってくれ。止めるから。
Come on, hop on the back. No cushion though, so it won't be a comfy ride. Let me know if it's too uncomfortable.
私は大丈夫よ。しずきくんが嫌じゃなければの話だけど。
I'll be fine. Worry about yourself. He had hit the nail on the head. Alice definitely held a grudge over the smallest things.
そういうことなら問題ないよ。アリスが後ろにいてくれるのは嬉しい。それで、行き先は間境界でいいんだな。
If that's the issue, then there is no issue. I'm happy to give you a ride. We're going to Ida Church, right?
Unabashed and undaunted, he plowed on. Oh, wow. His turn seemed to ease Alice's mood. She nodded calmly and took a seat on the luggage rack above the rear tire.
手を回すけど、私が触れても平気。
I'm going to hold on to you, okay? You don't mind me touching you, do you?
ん？大丈夫だよ。体力があるのはさっき証明しただろ。
Why wouldn't I? I'm tougher than I look.
I know. Yeah, she saw you shirtless. Alice silently wrapped her arms around Soujirouu. Once she had held on tightly enough, he gripped the handlebars.
よかった。
Good.
He said quietly.
何が良かったの？
What's good? Soujirouu turned to her, an ambiguous expression on his face, and then began pedaling vigorously. He let go of the brakes, and the bicycle hurtled down Shironizuka's steep incline. Shit. That is kind of dangerous in winter. Surprised by the sudden speed, Alice gasped and clutched Soujirouu tighter. She almost protested, but stopped when she saw the serious expression on Soujirou's face. Instead, she decided to tighten her grip. Under the night sky, a young girl had put her faith in a young boy. Faster than a roller coaster, the bicycle hurtled toward Misaki Station. Around the station, there was no sign of cars or people. While the town slept under its snowy blanket, two people were racing like the wind. While he pedaled, the boy said,
本当によかった。二人乗りが思ったより簡単で。
Riding tandem is way easier than I thought.
He was alone in his relief. It was their first bicycle ride together, and they sent it speeding down an empty highway. boy's words were lost to the howling wind, fortunately. In spite of the late hour, there were still lights on in the church. Originally, the only light at this time of night came from the entrance to the sleepless hospital, ever vigilant and ready to receive patients. However, this was a quiet town with little nightlife. The hospital saw perhaps one emergency patient per night, however. And it was not equipped to handle tonight's sole patient. It was a little before 1 o'clock in the morning. Leaving the bicycle outside, the two headed into the church. With its snow-covered roof, the church looked like it was wearing a white hat that lit up the darkness. In the entrance stood a tall shadow.
Kuonji-san.
Miss Kuonji.
The man's voice was placid. Dressed in a long coat, he had been waiting for Alice.
エイリ神父、青子は
Father Airy, it's Touko.
ユイカが見ています。私が駆けつけた時には手遅れでした。
Yeah, new character at this late hour.
Yuika's tending to her now. By the time I got to the scene, there were others already.
青崎の家に伝令を願いたいのですが。
What?
I'd like to notify her family.
青子はそれを望まないわ。それに、あちらも今は城に囚われているそうです。今夜の相手は、真っ先に青子の祖父の動きを封じたようですから。
Wait, what? Touko wouldn't want that. Besides, I believe they're trapped in the castle. Touko seems to have tied down their grandfather, too. The two exchanged pleasantries. Soujirouu did not move from the foot of the stairs.
おや、そちらは。
Oh? And who is this?
Though the father seemed calm, his words had an edge to them. As if to protect Soujirouu from his gaze, Alice stepped between them.
彼は青子の使い魔。契約はまだなされていないけれど。
Wow. This is Touko's familiar, though their contract hasn't been fulfilled yet.
使い魔ってアリス。
Familiar? Out?
Soujirouu was about to complain, but Alice shot him a fiery glare. That said, just shut up and play along.
そうですか。そのような申告はありませんでしたが、届けが遅れたのは不問としましょう。
I see. This is the first I've heard of it, but I'll let it slide.
外部の魔術師と交戦中でしたからね。あなたたちはその撃退を最優先にした。ということで。
I mean, you are both in conflict with an outside mage, after all. That should take priority.
Alice nodded in thanks.
では通ります。彼の同行を許可しなさい。
I'll be going in now. Let him enter too.
ご自由に。私はこれより朝廷に向かいます。管理者が変わるのなら、両教会への資料を用意しなければいけませんので。
Is he a representative of the association? Huh. He seems kind of sinister.
He is most welcome. I will begin preparations for mediation. If a change of administration is imminent, I have to prepare documents for both parties.
ああ、留守中は律香に任せてありますから、必要なものがあれば彼女に。
I'm leaving things to Ritsuka in my absence, so send any questions her way.
As if passing the baton, Father Aria exited the church. Soujirouu took 2 full steps back to give him a wide berth. The priest had a dignified air about him. To put it bluntly, he was strikingly beautiful. Straight nose, glistening lips. Not a single imperfection on his mildly effeminate face. But that only went as far as his appearance. His manner lacked any hint of softness or grace. Despite looking at him, you could tell he was dependable, like tempered steel, despite being somewhat unapproachable. The priest disappeared silently into the night, the darkness of his coat overpowering the moonlight. In awe, Soujirouu watched him leave.
なんか仙人みたいな人だな。
He's like some kind of sage from the folk tales.
In his own way, Soujirouu was expressing affection. For some reason, Father Aria's distant tone made him feel nostalgic. Nostalgic for what? Alice gave Soujirouu a deathly stare.
気を許さないで。彼は教会の人間よ。
Don't let your guard down. He's with the church.
私たちを監視する側だけど、今回は彼の手を借りるしかなかっただけ。
His job is to monitor us. But this time we had to ask for his help.
許されるなら、真っ先に消えてほしい人間だから。
Jeez. If it were allowed, I'd make him disappear off the face of the earth. Her curse ringing in the air, Alice placed her hand on the doors to the chapel. They were twice her height and who knows how heavy. It did not look like she could open them anytime soon. Soujirouu climbed stairs 3 at a time and helped Alice push the towering doors inward. The dim light of the chapel brought with it the familiar scent of burning oil. The ecclesi... Wow, that is not a word I've seen before. Excuse me. The ecclesiastical interior was breathtaking. The tall ceiling, stained glass windows in every wall. It all felt intended to illustrate the presence of the Holy Spirit within those chambers. Like the foyer in the Kanji estate, there was not a single heater. The bitter cold made the chapel feel more severe.
あっちゃん、こっちよ。
Alice, over here. The gentle voice echoed throughout the chapel, incongruous to its surroundings. It was the voice of a woman.
リツカさん、奥。
Ritsuka, is that you? Oh, I've heard of the word ecclesia from Castlevania. Alice made her way past the rows of pews toward the front altar. Hello, Dr. Philly Joel. Welcome to the stream, by the way. Soujirouu closed the large doors and hurried after her.
早かったわね。これから迎えに行こうと思ったのに。
You got here fast. I was just thinking of coming to see you.
使える足があったから。後ろの彼。
I had another pair of legs.
足って。あれ？あなた。
Legs? Oh, you mean him?
Oh.
Soujirouu showed himself, surprising the woman. They stared intently at each other, wondering what the other was doing here.
知り合い？
You two know each other?
ああ、うん。まずいことに知り合い。
Yes. Although I didn't expect to see him here.
宗十郎さん、引っ越したって話だけど、もしかしてあっちゃんのところに下宿してるの
？Oh my god. Oh, I can't quite read your full name. Hold on. P-O-O. Thank you so much for the donation. Oh, you're going through Chaos Had. Oh, that was a good one. And Chaos, oh my god, Chaos Child turned out to be one of my all-time favorite visual novels. So hopefully you can get there too. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you. P.O. It's not showing your full name. Well, let me see if I can stretch this thing out. Oh, poop poop. There we go. There we go. Well, thank you so much for the donation, poop poop. Soujirouu, when you said you'd moved, you meant you were staying at Ali's. Soujirouu nodded. Alice turned visibly sour at the unexpected development.
どういうこと？しずきくん、律香さんとはどういう関係？
What are you talking about, Ritsuka? How do you know each other?
関係って、そうね。
Well,
お魚屋さんでしょっちゅう割引してもらったり、
he always gave me a discount at the fish market.
荷物持ちを頼んでみたり、
Help me with my bags, drink tea with me.
たまにお茶飲んだりする主婦の友みたいな。
He's like every housewife's best friend.
意味がわかりません。律香さん結婚していないでしょ。
That doesn't make any sense. You're not married, Ritsuka. Needless to say, Soujirouu was also not a housewife's best friend, and all that suggested, but there were more urgent matters at hand.
うわ、そこを突っ込むのか。あっちゃん、私にだけは一切妥協がないのはどうかと思うの。
Ouch! You had to go there, huh? I can't slip anything by you, can I, Ellie?
律香さんの場合、どこまで本気かわからないから。おかしなところは全部追求しておかないといけないだけよ。
Well, what do you expect? I never know when you're being serious, so I have to question every weird thing you say.
あら素敵。仲のいい姉妹みたいね、私たち。
Just look at us. We must have been separated at birth.
じゃあ、その信頼に応えて本当のこと言うと、彼とは町内会の顔見知りよ。スパイ行為とかそういうんじゃないし、そもそもそんな器用な人じゃないでしょ、宗十郎さんは。
Okay, I'll tell you the truth. I knew him from the neighborhood association. He's not a spy or anything, not that he could be. I mean, you know, just look at him.
本当？
Is this true? Alice stared straight at Soujirouu to let him know she was mad at him for hiding this from her.
本当だ。魚屋でバイトしてる時に知り合った人だ。
Yes? I knew her from my part-time job at the fish market.
前に親切にしてもらったんで、お礼にイワシを1匹サービスしたら、それ以来ごひいきに。
She was nice to me, so I gave her a free sardine to persuade her to come back.
そうそう。商店街で買い物してれば、嫌でも宗十郎さんとは顔見知りになるわ。
Exactly. Everybody who shops downtown knows Soujirouu.
あっちゃんも怒るぐらいなら買い物に来ればいいのに。密かな商店街のアイドルです、彼。
If it bothers you so much, Allie, go see for yourself. He's the secret star of the shopping district.
アイドルとは人気者という意味で、値切りやすいかもって意味じゃないような。
She means I'm popular. Not that my prices are easy to hammer down like some nail on the wall.
Oh God, Soujirouu! Using the lesser-known definition of stud right there. His apparent popularity would have to be questioned another time. Collecting herself, Alice focused on the door in the recesses of the church.
リツカさんの事情は知りませんが、彼は青子の連れです。
I don't know what's going on with you, Ritsuka, but he's with Aoko now.
その他に説明はいりますか？
The explanation will have to wait.
ああ、やっぱりそういうことなのね。ま、言いたいことはいろいろあるけど、今はそれどころじゃないし。
Ah, it all makes sense now. So much to say in so little time. But we can get to that later.
ええ、了解したわ。他ならぬあっちゃんの頼みだし、特殊な例だけど、彼はこちらで保護しましょう。
Fine. For you, Ellie, I'll make an exception and offer him protection. Alice nodded and began walking to the door.
アリス
Alice!
ダメよ、宗十郎さん。
Stay, Soujirouu. Hello, S. Welcome to the stream. As Soujirouu was about to follow Alice, Ritsuka stepped in his way.
あなたは行ってはいけません。彼女たちに任せなさい。
You need to stay here. Leave this to the girls. She asserted bluntly. Meanwhile, Alice had reached the door and entered further into the chapel.
行ってはいけないって。どうして？
But why?
あなたのためよ。青子の容体は普通の人が見ていいものじゃない。
Jeez.
気分を悪くするだけ。
How did she get so fucked up? Who did she fight? It's for your own good. No normal person should see Aoko in the state she's in. It'll be too much for you. Yeah, I remember that. Hello, Dinah. Welcome to the stream. Yep, yeah, I remember she was the one who helped. Because I think she was in that one chapter. Yeah, where Soujirouu was at the church.
それとも嫌な思いをしてもいいくらい青子が心配なのかしら。
Unless, of course, you're so worried about her you don't care about that. Soujirouu was not able to give an immediate answer. It had finally hit him just how bad a state Aoko must be in. Based on Alice's condition when he found her, he intuited that Aoko's injuries might even be worse. He tried to imagine her expression in that state, but could not.
青崎相手に心配なんかしません。
I never worry about Ozaki.
Literally, he had never been worried about her before. Not truly.
でも会いに行くのね。
I can't stop you, can I?
はい。
No.
He answered her reflexively. Ritsuka sighed at the boy's naivete, but nonetheless stepped aside.
どうぞ行ってらっしゃい。
Go on then.
アリスさんが使ったドアから入って4番目の部屋よ。
Through the door Alice used. Fourth room in.
今一番取り込んでる頃だから、ゆいちゃんの邪魔だけはしないように。
Things are critical right now, so stay out of Yui's way. Soujirouu thanked her and went after Alice. Leaving Ritsuka Suze, the self-proclaimed everybody's friendly neighbor, alone.
さて、ゆいかあたりなら止めるんでしょうけど、ま、私は宗十郎さんの味方だし、傷つく男の子とか大好物だし。
Yui'll probably stop him, but someone's got to be in Soujirou's corner. I have a soft spot for broken boys.
少々スパルタと自覚しておりますが、これも親切な姉心と思って、宗十郎さんには後悔していただきましょう。
I know I'm playing rough with him, but it's for his own good. I say let him learn to regret. What is she talking about? She spoke with force, but her words echoed aimlessly around the chapel. With a sigh, she shrugged her shoulders and made the sign of the cross in a rather unpious manner. The sound of Soujirou's footsteps grew fainter. His lack of hesitation then left a pain in her heart. And not because he did not look back at her, but because he was choosing to ignore the primal fear inside him. An elderly man once said,
"An animal's death and a human's are two different things. You may think they are the same, but they differ to their core. Our heads have known the difference since the dawn of man. An animal's corpse, be it a pig's or a deer's, is different. The swing of an axe or a machete is violent, and so must a human corpse be. Therefore, before you see one with your own eyes, you should at least understand it with your ears. Listen closely, Soujirouu."
"Who is this?"
When a person dies, blood flows like a crimson river. It's too much to bear.
Perhaps because he was not used to the stone path beneath his feet, Soujirou's mind wandered back to the words he'd heard as a child. Oh my god. The instant he opened the door, there's a palpable change in the air. Oh, like the red filter, I made me see a lot of things as blood that weren't. The room was small, only with a simple bed and a small wooden dresser. And there on the bed was lying on her side. Tending to her was the woman he'd just seen in the chapel, Ritska. Wait, what? Oh. No, she only looked a lot like her. Her eyes were closed, and her garments covered in blood. He had met her maybe once before. Yuika Suze, a nun at the church. She was doing something to... Yuika held a pair of scissors and some thread. Her hands moved delicately yet quickly, as though playing an organ. What the fuck? Oh my god. Her movements were precise, as if flawlessly reading sheet music. One by one, the supply of her bandages diminished. Bandages recently applied to the wounds were quickly replaced with fresh ones. Gauze was placed everywhere to try and cope with the amount of blood. Once white cloth was now dyed red and discarded. The dressings scattered around the floor resembled roses. In a wilted rose garden, the nun played her organ. The scene looked unlike any reality Soujirouu knew. It was clear why the air had changed. There was a savage odor in the room. Even though he was experiencing it for the first time, he knew what it was. The smell burned his lungs. He could not bring himself to look at the bed. Fighting his feelings, his eyes refused to move there. He noticed Alice next to the bed. Ever expressionless, she looked like a statue next to a grave. Except she was trembling ever so slightly. It could have been from fear, anxiety, rage, or a combination of the three. Before her lay life on the verge of death. But whose life? It was difficult to tell with only a glance. What the fuck? Some sort of puppet covered in bandages, perhaps. Her hair should be beautiful, but it fell flat, disheveled, despite her short breaths, her chest convulsed. Up, down, up, down. Facetious though the thought was, Soujirouu recalled the rodeo machine on the roof of the department store. The painkillers and his anesthesia could not have been working. New bandages were so crimson in seconds. How much blood does she have? Oh my god. What the? How did this happen? Who? Her fingernails bit into the sheets. Her face twisted in agony. Anesthesia would not be enough. So if she was still alive, she must be conscious too. It worried him that no one seemed concerned about this. In this state, she would surely lose her mind before her life. In short, the boy never wanted to see anything like this ever again. Bedsheets should be white, not red. With every blink, the color deepened. Soujirouu was finally forced to accept that the bleeding mess in the center of it was her. He felt the blood surge in his veins. The squeaking of the bed, the snip of the scissors, the gasps of agony. It all faded. All he could hear was his own pounding heartbeat. Ugh! Oh God! The smell of the blood she choked up sent a wave of nausea through him. His knees abandoned him. And it was perfectly understandable. Oh my God, what the hell? That's like a chunk of meat! What the His brain had to shut his consciousness off to protect itself. The mind could only take so much reality. He would give anything to never see something like that again.
そうか。青子ちゃんは全部わかっているんだね。
Who's this talking?
自分だけのことじゃなくて。
Oh, is this Touko? It's probably Touko. Silly me. You know everything, don't you, Oko? Not just about you.
この後に起きることも、何が残って何が残らないのかも 全部まっすぐに受け止めている。
But what happens after this, too? What survives? What won't? You can see it all.
それでも自分であり続けられるということはとても強いことなんだよ。
And through it all, you never lose sight of who you are. You're so strong. And on she went. I kind of liked her smile, but she just had to go and say the one thing I wish she hadn't. The last day of middle school seems so long ago. As the ephemeral cherry blossom petals danced around, my little dream was crushed. I'd never really considered myself strong. At least until I began remembering those words from time to time.
青崎は分かってると思ってた。
I thought you of all people would understand, Ozaki.
いや、きっと分かってるんだな。だから、そこが強いんだろうね。
I mean, of course you do. That's what makes you strong.
And lately an idiot who says things like that has appeared in my life. I knew I always judged people more harshly than those around me. But to have someone I'd only known for a few days point that out was like a stab in the chest. Not only that, the words sounded so similar. They'd made me so angry I couldn't see straight. Only him and one other person have ever said anything like that to me. And again, I suppose my sister said the same without actually saying it. You're different from us. But me being me, I took it as a curse rather than a compliment. My actions, my choices, my morals, all the good and bad I've done. When all's said and done, am I really any better than everyone else? Of course I am. I'll never sacrifice myself for those around me. You just had to call me strong. True to myself in spite of how alone, stubborn, and ridiculous I know I can be. When I was younger, it can only confuse me. I mean, I don't know any other way. I am who I am. The frustrating fact is, I simply don't have the courage to give up. So why? Why do I get treated special for doing what comes naturally? The sunlight stirred her. Maybe it was the pain from having her whole body held together by arcane threads. But Aoko felt like she'd had a silly dream. She gulped air through her painful, parched throat. Gray rays of light shone through a small window, bringing her back to reality. I feel itchy. Unable to bear it, Aoko attempted to roll over. Except she could only move her right arm. Uh-oh. She tried lifting her arm, but couldn't feel anything past her elbow. Once she stopped concentrating on her bandaged arm, it fell to the bed like a stone. Okay. Aoko took in her surroundings, moving only her eyes. Evidently she had been asleep in this bed. Unable to feel certain parts of her body, she felt like a robot. The room was tiny and undecorated. It was like an apartment without a tenant. Judging by the good repair, she guessed that she was an eye to church. Outside, it seemed closer to noon than morning. Clouds filled the sky as usual, dulling the sun's rays. Idly, she thought that it could be enough to melt the snow outside. And then finally, she noticed the figure of a girl. Next to her bed, Alice Kwanji was sitting in a chair, unmoving.
Ohayo, Alice.
Good morning, Alice. Sorry. Good morning, Alice. She called out to her, all too casually. It was more difficult to talk than she thought. Alice was her typical stoic self. Although Aoko did notice a glimpse of concern in her eyes.
寝てないんでしょ。肌が荒れてる。
You haven't slept, Alice. I can tell from your poor complexion.
努力はしたわ。けど、トウコさんに飲まされたものが解毒されるまで眠れそうにないの。
Oh God. Oh, that sucks. Oh my God. I tried, but I can't until the substance Touko made me swallow leaves my system.
半端な痛みは、こういう時に生ぬるいわね。
I suppose my lukewarm discomfort is a fart in a windstorm compared to what you're going through. Alice's uncharacteristically vulgar comment helped Aoko feel a little more like her usual self. She felt reassured having a comrade in arms by her side instead of a concerned neighbor.
そう、アリスもやられたの。
So, she got you too.
状況は大体予想してるけど、一応細部を聞かせてくれない？
I can guess how it went. Fill me in on the details. Aoko remained horizontal as she spoke with a cool tone. Despite Aoko's condition, Alice granted her request. After all, they had known each other for 2 years. Alice knew exactly the kind of anesthesia Aoko Ozaki needed right now. Alice Kwanji's battle with Touko Ozaki ended in the former's victory. The Thames troll was a special familiar, even among fairy tale monsters. While lacking the incredible reality warping abilities of Flat Snark, its sheer master ability and strength were second to none. Touko's rune magecraft was rendered completely ineffective by its stone armor. In all fairness to Touko, most mages would not stand a chance against the bridge giant. The reason lay in the mystic's body. As a general law of magecraft, a mystic will lose to a stronger, older mystic. The history of the bridge giant dated well back well over 1,000 years. Its origins could be traced to the 1st century when Britannia was conquered by the Romans. Conversely, despite having roots dating back to the Age of Gods, runes had unfortunately been lost to time. Rune magecraft was little more than an attempt to revive and use a dead art. However, monsters from fairy tales like the troll were different. They lived on in the hands of Alice Kwanji. The magical world was vast, but one could probably count on one hand the number of magecraft still functioned after being enchanted into existence a millennia ago, as Alice's ploys did. In contrast, Touko the rune user was only about 2 decades old. Carving a rune only took a moment. There was no way a quick spell could defeat the personification of London Bridge in Alice's homeland. That being said, a beast had appeared that surpassed even those from fairy tales. Beowulf, the Golden Beast. It seemed absurd to compare a small and relatively powerless wolf to a towering stone giant. The Thames Troll's attacks were earthquaking. A direct hit from his 50-ton strikes would smash anything to paste, while a glancing blow would still create mincemeat. And yet, the beast had attacked head-on and torn right through it. How did he do that? The wolf's fur bristled, and the creature metamorphosed like liquid. It was a breathtaking display. The wolf howled at the moon, as if in joy, and streaked forth like a bolt of golden light. In an instant, the duel was decided. The radiant spear of a wolf flew straight through the giant's chest and sank its teeth into its heart. The troll exploded. Damn, so is it dead permanently? Chunks of stony muscle rained down. Luminous fur scattered in the wind. Two mystics disappeared without a trace and returned from whence they came. The curtain fell on a battle straight out of mythology. They are among the rubble of the fairy tale monster. Was the golden wolf, standing like a flame. What came after could barely be described as a battle. It was more like the slaughter of defeated pawns. The wolf leapt on Alice, disemboweling her with ease. His claws cut through the protective wards on Alice's coat like a hot knife through butter. The golden wolf. This wolf, which understood human speech, could only be the magical creature known as the werewolf. Werewolves were the forest people of Western Europe, with origins far more ancient than the fabricated vampire legends of the continent. However, none were known to have golden coats. It was said that the most elite werewolf bloodlines boasted silver fur. Oh my god, so he really is like the ultimate god werewolf. Jeez. Like the special EX New Game Plus version werewolf here. Hello Saw, welcome to the stream. Silver werewolves were pack leaders, and werewolves of that caliber were considered phantasmal, rather than merely magical creatures. But a golden werewolf was superior to even that, so transcended human knowledge. Alice Conti's ploys were among the ultimate mystics to have been created by humankind. Therefore, the Golden Wolf could only have been a mystic born of the planet. When a celestial body has been active for millions, even billions of years, occasionally a miraculous droplet of creation spills out over into our current world. This mystic had to be over 3,000 years old. Why does he still sound like a kid? A human mage. No, any mage living in the current magical paradigm would be helpless against the Golden Wolf. Not even in theory would they stand a chance of defeating it. Which meant that this werewolf was Alco and Alice's worst nightmare.
そう。
I see.
アリスがお手上げの相手だものね。私がどうにかできるはずもなかったわけだ。
If it was too much even for you, Alice, I never would have stood a chance.
でも、要は魔術でなければいいのよね。
But that means non-magical attack should work on it, right?
テムズの動力は魔力だけど、テムズのパンチは純粋な衝撃でしょ。当たりさえすればぺしゃんこじゃないの。
That Thames is powered by magical energy. But isn't its punch just raw force? One hit and it's game over.
残念だけど。
It's not that simple, unfortunately.
あれ、基本は狼の姿なだけで、状況によって形を変えるわ。テムズの腕を受け止めた時は、大猿みたいになっていたし。
Oh, damn, so that's not his only form. Shit. His base form was a wolf, but he can transform to adapt to the situation. He took Thames' punch by turning into a giant ape-like thing.
機関銃やロケットで狙っても、かわされるか、体の硬い生き物に変化して防ぐんじゃないかしら。
Even if we used a machine gun or a rocket launcher, he could probably transform into something to defend himself.
地球上の生き物なら何にでも変われるってことか。
So he can turn into any living creature.
でもまあ、質量までは無理かな。
What about his mass? He can't change that, can he?
基本は2メートル台の生物のいいとこ取りってあたりで勘弁してほしいわね。
Ugh. Why do you have to be well over 6 feet tall on top of all of its other strengths?
ねえ、すごく関係ないけど、深海の生き物に変わられたらちょっと怖いと思わない？
Random question. But what if he could turn into a sea creature? That'd be just awful. Alco narrowed her eyes as she bemoaned the creature's existence. The conversation appeared to be revived her fighting spirit. Once again, her eyes were focused and her thoughts clear. Alco was back to her usual self.
で、その後はアリスうまく逃げられたの？
So, what happens next? Were you able to escape?
いいえ、私もあの狼にやられたわ。
Ugh, don't say it like that. No. The wolf had its way with me next. Alice explained how the wolf had pinned her to the ground. Incidentally, she kept the part about Soujirouu rather short. Alice herself was not entirely sure why she felt necessary to leave most of that information out.
アリスが相手をした後、休む間もなく私のところに来たわけか。
Oh, that's what she did. I guess she teleported or something. So Touko came straight to me after fighting you.
初めから昨日で決着をつけるつもりだったんだ、兄貴。
That was your plan, sis. You want to end this all yesterday.
姉妹かな。ここぞって時のタイミングは一緒だったの忘れてた。
It was my mistake for forgetting. We always did have a habit of having the same thought at the same time.
切り札は見せたからには敵を殲滅しなくちゃいけない。
Once you reveal your hand to the enemy, you have to take them out.
姉貴は視点を残り2つにしておいて、自分の正体を告げてこっちの戦力を分けさせた。
She waited until she was down to the last 2 sickles to reveal herself and divide her strength.
その時点で奥の手を投入してくることは覚悟してたけど、まさか人狼なんて際物とはね。
I knew she'd do something like that, but I never imagined she'd have a freaking werewolf with her. Alko let out a heavy sigh. Alice nodded slightly in agreement.
それはそれとして、宗十郎がアリスを助けに行くなんてね。感謝しなくちゃいけないんだろうけど、バカな真似してくれたわ。
Anyway, I can't believe Soujirouu came to your rescue. I know I should be grateful, but God, he's such an idiot.
私が東子の立場なら、報復の可能性は一つ残らず排除する。
If I was in Touko's shoes, I'd be tying up any loose ends.
私たちがどうにかなった後、猫の手首ひねるみたいに片付けられるわよ、あいつ。
After dealing with us, wiping him out should have been a piece of cake.
しずきくんならこちらで保護してもらってるけど。
Suzuki is under the church's protection now. Ako's eyes widened.
うわ、どういう風の吹き回し？
What? Am I hearing things?
アリスがあいつの世話を焼くなんて。
You actually went out of your way to protect him?
だって放っておいたら青子が怒ると思って。
Ha! Ha ha ha! I was thinking of you. We wouldn't want you to get angry now, would we? Alice responded with her eyes closed. Alko frowned in silent indignation, as if she wanted to protest where Alice got that idea from.
まあいいけど、それじゃあ今ここにいるんだ、宗十郎。姿が見えないけどどうしたの？
Well, whatever. He's here now, I assume. But where? Still unable to move her neck, she looked around as best she could.
彼なら気分を悪くして倒れたわ。今はエイリ神父の寝室を借りているけど。
He collapsed, so he's resting in Father Aries' bedroom. Alka furrowed her brow at collapsed. Sure, he was under the church's protection, but had Touko set the wheels in motion for his death?
何があったの一体。
What exactly happened to him? Alice paused for a moment before carefully answering the question.
それが
Well,
彼、あなたを見て嘔吐したの。
when he saw you, he vomited. She had decided to be blunt. Damn, what a way to put it, Alice. Alka was taken aback. For several seconds, dim sunlight leaked through the window. When she had found her voice again, she muttered.
いいけど、ひどい侮辱よね、それって。
Whatever. It's kind of rude, though. Perhaps amused or perhaps exhausted from staying up all night, Alice cracked a tiny giggle.
何よ、そんなにおかしい、アリス。
Alice, what's so funny?
さあ、どうかしらね。けど、しずきくんにも言い分はあるでしょう。今のあなた、とても見られたものじゃないわ。
Oh, nothing. Suzuki had his reasons, I'm sure. You're in a bad state, Oko. Oko appraised her physical state. She was dressed in a hospital gown. Bandages covered the majority of her body. Her right leg was in a plaster cast. Since she could move her right arm, she brought her bandaged fingers up to her throat.
そっか、思い出した。あのガキ、まず私の首元に噛みついたんだっけ。
Oh, yeah, I remember now. That little shit bit my neck.
すごかったわよ、首が噛み砕かれるのって。ゴキーンって音が頭の中に響いて、気持ち悪いったらなかったわ。
It was crazy being torn to pieces like that. I even heard my neck snapping. Gross doesn't do the feeling justice. How are you still alive?
ち、あそこから好き勝手やられたもんだから、つい忘れてた。
Damn it. He played with me like some kind of chew toy. I almost wish I could forget. Alka sounded upbeat, but the look in her eyes was anything but. She had been torn to pieces, but her life had been mercifully spared. At least she hadn't been dismembered. She had been bitten, beaten, and her bones broken. Magic crest containing the Aozaki's secret arts decorated her body. Even if her spine was broken, as long as her body was alive, the crest would piece it back together. It's OP ass freaking regeneration, by the way. Oh my god. Despite the crest easing the pain a little, she still hurt enough to want to kill that wolf 100 times over.
視点は全部壊された。
false signals have been
これ
broken.
で三崎市の霊脈はフリーってわけね。
Misaki City's ley lines are wide open.
全容を把握してるのはうちらだけの特権だったけど、トーコは昔から知ってる以上、解析の手間もいらないと。
We thought we'd the edge of having the big picture of the area, but if Touko's known for a while, then she's a step ahead of us.
真剣な話、所有権の書き換えまで何時間かかると思う？
Let's be real. How long do you think it'll take her to transfer Dominion rights?
トウコさんなら2日かからないでしょうね。
Oh wow, we are on a major time limit. Oh god. For Touko, it won't even take her 2 days.
支店の修復は土地そのものに任せるしかない。
She has no choice but to wait for the land itself to restore the sickles.
支店のプロテクトが治る頃にはこの町はもう彼女のものよ。
By the time the defenses are working in working order again, this town will be as good as hers.
明日の夜明けとともに破産する我が身とはね。
So come tomorrow morning, I lose everything.
それでアリスの方はどうなの？まだいける？
What about you, Alice? Any fight left in you?
思考魔術だけなら少しは。
Damn, she's recovering fast. I can manage a little bit of mental magecraft.
あとは小道具に頼ることになるでしょうね。
After that, I'd be relying on trinkets.
ああ、お話にならないか。
That won't cut it. Alko went silent again, staring straight at the ceiling. Alice knew all too well what that look meant.
それでもやるんでしょ、青子。
What the fuck is she gonna do? You're still planning on fighting, aren't you, Alko?
まあね、私諦めるのってできないから。
Can you blame me? It's not like I can give up.
で、そういうアリスはどうなのよ？
What about you?
私は一度自分のものになったものは決して人には渡さない。
Once something is mine, it stays mine. Alko muttered an agreement to Alice's terse response. Alice's intense attachment to her possessions was enough to make even Alko shiver. Once something is mine, it stays mine. To take it a step further, betrayal was an unforgivable sin. This personal motto was further proof of her uncompromising nature.
オッケー、決まりね。
Okay, that settles it then.
じゃ、悪いけどもう少し休ませて。今晩までには何とか動けるようにするから。
Oh, okay, that settles it then. I'm gonna get some rest. Come hell or high water, I'll be ready by tonight. If the nun who had stitched her back together had heard that, she would have fainted. How in the hell? Alko could barely even eat in her current condition. Even so, Alice nodded and stood up. As Alko's partner, she knew that once her mind was made up, she had to trust her. Suddenly, the girl in black began to take her leave. Oh. She stopped in front of the door and had her hand to her mouth.
アリス？
Alice? Alko was curious. suspecting that Alice had something silly to say again. Quite the contrary. Instead of blushing, Alice furrowed her brow like she was thinking over a difficult riddle.
アリス
Alice, hello! Alka called out, but Alice remained with her back to her roommate.
なんで間に合ったのかしら。
How did he make it to me on time? She spoke as if the words had accidentally burst out from her thoughts. Yeah, what the fuck did he do? He was like cross country. Like, jeez. Alice's question was about something Alka could not possibly have guessed.
あの時もそう。
It happened before, too.
私たち始発で帰ってきたのに。
Even though we took the first train back. She carried on mumbling at the door. Are we finally gonna learn what the deal is with Soujirouu? Are we finally gonna learn? Unable to find an answer, Alice gloomily put her hand on the doorknob.
言いたくないなら別にいいけど
It looks like he's gonna be their trump card, their ace in the hole here. If you don't want to say, it's fine.
何がどうしたって言うのよアリス
But if you do, then just spit it out already. Alice did not respond. She opened the door to leave the room and left a few words hanging in the air.
どうでもいいことだけど、
It might be nothing.
ゆいかさんにはしずきくんは見えなかったそうよ。青子。
By the way, Yuika said she couldn't see Suzuki. Wait, what? Is he invisible to her? The door closed with a thud.
そりゃまた珍しい
What does that mean? Huh. That doesn't happen every day. Alka mumbled to herself from her bed, seeming slightly happier. Blind since birth. Oh, Yuka Suze saw the world through her other senses. She was especially sensitive to enemies or those who bore ill will, and typically viewed almost everyone as a threat. Presumably because that was the easiest thing to pick up on. So when she said she couldn't see Soujirouu, that meant he was completely harmless. Oh. Huh. And then, that harmless individual decided to pay the small sick room a visit. Soujirouu looked like a stiff breeze could knock him over. It made Aoko wonder who the real patient was.
何しに来たのあんた
What do you want? Though Aoko could barely move, she was still able to give him the cold shoulder. Of course. Her expression gaunt, Soujirouu grunted something or other, before beginning to speak more coherently.
アリスが客間で眠ったから礼拝堂にいたんだけど、人が集まりだしたんで、こっちに逃げてきた。
Alice was sleeping in the guest room and I was in the chapel. People started coming in, so I came in here.
あ、礼拝の時間かクリスマスだってのによくやるわ
Must be time to worship. It is Christmas. Oh, it was indeed Christmas. Wow! It's already Christmas! It was indeed Christmas. Regular Mass was on Christmas Eve. The ones gathering in the chapel must have been truly devout followers. Tourists were rare in Misaki after all. So much so that almost no one visited this area this time of year. The worshippers must have been locals.
それで別にどうってことないでしょ。探せば顔見知りもいるんじゃない？
So, why do you care? There might be someone there you know. Alko was as distant as ever. She clearly had not forgotten the fact that he had vomited when he saw her. A hint of spite leaked into her voice. Then again,
いや、ちょうどいい機会だから、いろいろと聞きたくなって。
It's not that. I just thought it might be a good chance to ask you some things.
少し話をしていいかな。
Can we talk for a bit?
since Alko was always in a bad mood, Soujirouu did not pick up on anything out of the ordinary. She wanted to tell him to go drink some water, because he looked ready to collapse. But he didn't seem aware of his own condition. And to be fair to him, Alice did say Alko was in bad shape. Given how unaccustomed to blood Soujirouu was, it was no wonder he had fainted.
ああ、そうか。
Oh, of course.
話なんてまだ無理だな。すまない。出直してくる。
You're probably still too injured to talk. Sorry, I'll come back later.
Soujirouu seemed to have misunderstood Alko being deep in thought as not having enough stamina to speak. Naturally, this did not sit well with Alko.
待ちなさいよ。話だけなら別に構わないわ。やる気持て余してるし、暇つぶしがてらに相手してあげるわよ。
Hold it right there, Buster. If you came to talk, I can talk just fine. I've been cooped up in here so I could use the distraction.
ま、退屈しのぎにしてはちょっとグレード下がるけど、この際贅沢言ってられないし。
This guy is around 2 tsunderes. Okay, so you're not the best distraction, but beggars can't be choosers. Soujirouu sensed this was going to be rough, but took a seat on the chair next to the bed.
で、何が聞きたいの？
So, what do you want to ask me? Alko spoke energetically in an attempt to distract from her weakened appearance. Naturally, she knew she was fooling no one.
やっぱり青崎は強いな。安心した。
You really are strong, Azaki. I'm relieved to see that you're okay.
Soujirouu said, nodding in admiration. Alko shot him an unimpressed look in response to the unwanted praise. Honestly, you have the worst timing.
いいわよ、別に。
Nothing. Forget it.
私の夢の話だから、そっちが気に病むことは。
Just something from a dream. It's nothing to do with you. She glowered, remembering. Come to think of it, almost everyone in her dream was here in the church, turning her dour expression into an irritated one.
やめやめ、こんなつまんない話。聞きたいことがあるなら手っ取り早く済ませちゃってよ、宗十郎。
Enough about that. You said you had questions, so out with them.
よかった。じゃあ、まず今の状況を聞かせてくれないか。
Alright, could you tell me what's going on?
トウコさんの話じゃ、 俺も無関係じゃないそうだし。
I mean with Touko. Now that I'm involved and all.
Soujirouu spoke calmly, making Alka wonder if he really understood the gravity of the situation. He was Touko's enemy now. He was defenseless and needed protection. Neither Alko nor Alice could help him, and the church could withdraw their sanctuary at any moment. He had picked a side, and that had turned him from innocent bystander into target. The answer he sought was as simple as that. He knew the facts. He was not a mage and was therefore powerless.
まあそれでもアリスを助けられたわけだし。
I guess you did help Alice. Alko did owe him for that. To say thanks, she decided to at least give him the whole story up until now.
よし、今までの経緯も含めて軽く説明してみましょうか。
Okay. I'll quickly walk you through everything.
私も何か得るものがあるかもしれないし。
You know, maybe even I'll get something out of it. Alko composed herself before beginning her explanation. The battle began at the end of November. A lot had happened since then, including meeting Soujirouu.
事の起こりは1ヶ月前。
It all started a month ago.
三崎市に貼られた結界の端っこが何者かに消されたのが発端だった。
When the edge of the bounded field around Misaki City was taken down.
私が跡継ぎになってから5度目の三崎市を狙う敵の登場ってわけ。
The fifth time since I became successor. Misaki City was officially under attack.
今回の敵は私たちとは直接戦わず、まず土地を奪うところから始めたわ。
This time, instead of attacking us directly, the enemy started by taking the land.
今までのやつは私たちを半人前と舐めていたから、大抵は真正面から仕掛けてきて、勝手にアリスの猟犬の餌食になったんだけど、まあそれはどうでもいいとして。
Everyone that had come before her had all been a bunch of amateurs, all full of themselves, attacking us head on. They all ended up as kibble for Alice's watchdog.
町の結界には2種類あって、侵入者を見つけるものと土地の力を有効利用するものがあるの。
Anyway, two types of bounded fields surrounded the area. One detects intruders and one siphons energy from the land.
敵が壊したのは土地の結界の方で、これが全部壊されると、私やアリスは土地の所有権を失ってしまう。
The enemy attacked the latter. If the entire field is destroyed, then Alice and I effectively lose our ownership of this land.
土地のないはぐれ魔術師と同じになっちゃうのよ。
Without land, we become no different than rogue mages.
もちろん、そうならないように侵入者をあぶり出すための結界があるんだけど、こっちには何の反応もなかった。
Of course, we had another field set to detect intruders, but it didn't do what it was supposed to.
ま、当然よね。
Now we know why.
今回の敵は私の姉貴、青崎東子その人だったんだから。
The enemy was my sister, Touko Azaki.
青崎の結界は同族である姉貴を敵とみなさなかった。
Ah. Aozaki bounded fields aren't gonna recognize a fellow Aozaki as a threat.
あるいは姉貴は結界の抜け道、構造の資格をついたのかもしれない。
That seems like a big loophole. Alternatively, she may have just known about a blind spot and slipped in that way.
もともとうちの後継者はあの人だし、それぐらいの知識はあったでしょ。
the original successor. It's only natural she'd have that knowledge to begin with.
そうして姉貴は私たちに見つかることなく好き勝手に結界の視点を壊し始めた。
So, since she was invisible to us, she had free reign to make bounded field sigils.
時間をかけてゆっくり壊していったのは外からやってきた部外者を演じていたからでしょうね。
She deliberately attacked them slowly, one by one, to make us think it was an outsider.
さすがに連続して壊されればこっちも身内の犯行だと疑うし、うち親戚である浅木家とは仲悪いままだしさ。
If she'd broken them all at once, I suspect it was one of my relatives, such as someone from the Asagi family.
ま、姉貴の芝居に騙された私たちが間抜けなんだけど、セオリーとして結界崩しは長丁場になるものなの。
Well, we were stupid to fall for her little game. It's also possible it took her a long time to destroy the field.
管理地の結界は強固に作られているからね。普通は半年単位での攻防になる。
Our fields are made of strong stuff. They typically last for 6 months.
攻める側はまず結界を形取る視点が何個あるか、それがどの5大要素でくくられているか、退去の正しい順序はどれか、それらを地道に解き明かしていく。
An enemy would need to figure out how many sigils supported the field, what elements composed them, and the correct order to take them down.
もちろん管理地の魔術師たちの目を盗みながら。
All the while making sure the mage they belong to doesn't notice.
対して守る側は侵入者がいることに気づくから、悪さをされる前に敵の拠点を見つけ出して外敵を排除する。
If we did notice, we'd locate the intruder's base and eliminate them before any damage could be done.
こんな感じで結界崩しは長期戦、あるいは前哨戦になるものなの。
So bounded fields are either broken during a drawn-out battle, or preemptively before it even starts.
大抵は攻める側が視点を壊すぞとアピールして土地の持ち主を翻弄疲弊させてから魔術師同士の直接対決で決着がつくわ。
Usually the enemy threatens to break the sigils to lure the landowner out. Then things are settled there and then with a duel between mages.
なんで結界を全部壊す必要はないのよ。
Doing that eliminates the need to completely destroy a field.
管理地の持ち主を始末した方が早いし、その後は術式さえ解読しちゃえば土地を結界ごと横取りできる。
It's much faster to take out the landowner and, as long as they can decipher the formula, seize the fields and land afterward.
わざわざ壊して作り直すより昔からある結界の方が土地に馴染んでいて強力だしで一石二鳥でしょ。
If you don't destroy the fields, you don't have to remake them. Besides, ones that have been in the land for years are stronger. That was how Alco and Alice were duped. They never thought the enemy would waste the time and never needed to break all the sigils.
だから私とアリスはとりあえず受けに回った。
That's why Alice and I went on the defensive.
視点を探すために街を調査している敵を待ち伏せて、これを片っ端から倒そうって。
We figured we could surprise the enemy while they searched for the sigils, take them out one by one.
でもそのうちの一つがケチのつき始めだった。
But that's when things started to go south.
三崎町の公園で山張って待ち受けていた時、どうでもいい第三者が覗き見してやがったんだよ。
When a certain busybody saw something he shouldn't have at the local park. Indeed. It was the ultimate taboo in the world of magecraft. The existence of mages must never be revealed to outsiders.
その後のことはわかるでしょ。
And you know the rest, right?
私は敵との小競り合いをアリスに任せて、それより重要な目撃者狩りに専念せざるを得なくなった。
I had no choice but to leave our battle with the enemy to Alice and devote my time to searching for the eyewitness.
言っとくけど、これはあんたのことだからね。そこで我関せずみたいな顔しないこと。
And in case you haven't realized, I'm talking about you. So don't give me a soppy look like you're surprised. No sooner had Aoko said that, Soujirouu gave her that exact look. Clearly he had been listening, but not necessarily understanding.
ま、いいけどね。宗十郎がそんなだから秘密は漏れなかったんだし。
Whatever, it's water under the bridge. Actually, thanks to your cluelessness, our secret is still safe.
で、あんたっていう目撃者を消そうとした私の単独行動は、敵にしても都合のいいものだった。
Anyway, the fact I went looking for you worked to the enemy's favor.
強敵であるアリスがいないんだから、敵はこれを機会に私を始末しようと、特注品の人形を差し向けた。
Alice was their biggest threat. With us separated, she could take me out. That's when she sent her special puppet.
と思っていたけど、あれはただの嫌がらせね、間違いなく。
Or so I thought at the time. It turns out she only sent it to mess with me.
そうでなきゃ、私そっくりの人形なんて派遣するかっての。
Otherwise, why use a puppet that looked just like me? Soujirouu nodded, thinking back to the Aoko replica.
あれのことは忘れてちょうだい。
Remember, I'd prefer it if you forgot about that incident altogether.
まあ、そこから先はあんたもうすうす知ってるでしょ。
After that, you can fill in the blanks.
私とアリスは敵との戦いに専念することになって、毎日のように捜査の手を空振って、決戦の夜を迎えて、今はこうしてる。
Alice and I turned our attention to fighting the enemy, spending most nights tracking her fruitlessly until the fight last night.
大体の経緯はこんなところよ。
That's the long and short of it. She stared down at her body, as if recalling what had happened would help her accept her current state. Under the sheet, magical energy steadily flowed through her partially bandaged body.
青崎、これまでの君たちの話は分かった。
Okay, Ozaki, I think I'm all caught up.
けど、肝心の今の状況はどうなっているんだ？
But what about you? Why are you in this state?
That's what I was thinking. Was it the wolf again? It seems like it was. Soujirou's specific concern was the reason Aoko was lying there. More than anything, he wanted to know what had happened to her the night before.
バカね。状況も何も完全に私たちの負けじゃない。
Simple. We lost. What more is there to say? Judging by her tone, she would have raised both hands sarcastically in celebration if she could.
負けた？
You lost?
そう。事実は正しく受け止めなくっちゃね。
Yep, it sucks, but there's no getting around it.
5つの視点が全部壊された時点で勝負はついたの。
The moment all 5 sigils were broken, it was over.
管理地の所有権は宙ぶらりで、明日にはトーコの手に渡るでしょう。
The land rights are up in the air. Until tomorrow when Touko claims them.
で、それを阻止したいこっちは、私もアリスもこのありさま。
And trying to prevent that, Alice and I ended up like this.
もう立場は逆転したから、これから私たちは挑戦者。つまり、はぐれ魔術師ってことよ。
The tables have turned. So from here on, we'll be the challengers. We are the rogue mages. Which meant that Aoko, Alice, and Soujirouu only had a few more days with which to utilize the church's services. Ida Church was not only an arm of the Mages Association, but also a branch of the Holy Church that monitored heresy. Aoko and Alice were owners of Misaki City's spiritual lands, but they belonged to neither of these organizations. The only reason the church helped them at all was because they were the land's administrators. Once those rights were lost, the church would have no reason to provide any further aid.
エイリ神父はコウモリだから私を助けてくれたけど、ユイカさんは教会の代行者だから、傷が塞がったなら明日にでも出て行けって言ってくる。
Father Aries is helping us because he's neutral in all this. But Yuika's a church executor. Once I'm healed, she'll kick me out. Hey, I know one of those.
教会にとっちゃ魔術師なんてもともと排除すべき商売敵だからね。
Federico Giallo himself. The church sees mages as a professional competition.
バカリつかは。泣きつけば力にはなってくれるでしょうけど。
And that stupid Ritsuka. Well, she might help out if I cried. Soujirouu understood little of what Aoko was talking about.
そうじゃなくて、青崎。
I didn't mean that, Aozaki.
昨日の夜、何があったんだ？
I meant what actually happened last night.
Soujirouu pressed her, and Aoko really wished he had not.
見てわからない。惨敗なんてものじゃないわ。
You can't tell by looking? They wiped the floor with me.
喉に食いつかれる。体中好き放題噛まれまくる。挙句に右のマモなんてなくなってたそうよ。
My throat was torn to pieces along with the rest of me. My right thigh was basically gone.
アリスのチョコレートのおかげで出血死は免れたけど。
If it wasn't for Alice's chocolate, I'd have bled to death. She knocked on the cast around her leg. Aoko spoke casually, was trying to hide how much she wanted revenge for being humiliated. In contrast, Soujirouu felt empty. The little color he had in his face began to fade. Was he repulsed by the terrible situation? Or were his instincts telling him to flee? Regardless, he appeared very human.
なんでそこで固まる？あ、そっか。
What the hell's wrong with you? Wait, I know.
私を見て吐き出しちゃうぐらいナイーブなんだっけ、宗十郎ってば。大丈夫よ、今はくっついてるから。
You were stupid enough to look at me and throw up, am I right? Well, you can stop worrying. I'm in one piece now.
ユイカさんは治療専門だし、私だってただやられてたわけじゃないし。復元は青崎の得意分野だから、あれくらい問題ないわ。
Yuika's a pro and I'm still alive. Rather, regeneration is a specialty of the Ozaki mages, so I'll be fine. She gave him a reassuring look, but his expression was unchanged. Aoko had expected him to worry, but this level of concern made it hard for even her to berate him. Feeling embarrassed, she started talking again.
けどあれ切ったらどうやってあんなのを手なずけたんだろう。金の狼なんて伝説の中にしかいないと思ってた。
The question is, how on earth did my sister manage to tame a golden wolf? I didn't even think they existed.
神代の神秘であるあいつには青年クラスの魔術じゃないと太刀打ちできない。かといって殴り合いでどうにかできる相手じゃないし。
He's a relic from the age of gods. You need magecraft a millennium in the making just to stand a chance against him. Never mind trying to take him in a fistfight. As images of the night before entered Aoko's mind, she bit her lip in anguish.
金の狼？
A golden wolf?
Does he know about that? Conversely, the bizarre phrase snapped Soujirouu out of a state of shock.
そう、黄金の人狼。金狼って言った方がいいのかな。
Yep, a golden wolf. A golden werewolf, to be exact.
狼男って言ってもわからないわよね。 人間と狼のいいとこ取りみたいなやつと思えばいいわ。
Then again, you've probably never heard of a werewolf. Think part human, part wolf, but only the best parts.
野獣というより魔獣の類よ。
It's a magical beast as opposed to a wild one.
普通の人狼なら対抗手段はあるんだけど、トウコが連れてるのは黄金の毛並みをした怪物でさ。
There are ways to deal with regular werewolves, but the one with Touko has a golden coat.
あれは原初の人狼の血統で、魔獣を通り越して幻獣の域に達している。
He's a descendant of the first werewolves, a transcendent magical beast, a phantasmal beast.
聖域の相手にはそいつらを上回る神秘、積み重ねた時間とか魔術の奥義じゃないと無効化されるのよ。
To take on such a pure monster, you need a mystic with longer history, or some really secret magecraft. Nothing else will even scratch it. I'll be right back. Back.
魔術は万能だけど、この年月の差だけは覆せない。
Magecraft can do almost anything, but it just can't compete with something so ancient.
人間の魔術師にとっては天敵みたいな自然災害ね。
He's the kind of natural disaster that any human mage dreads fighting. Her words indicated more admiration than hatred. And the way she'd whispered about the wolf strangely made sense to Soujirouu.
何？
What? Out with it already.
いや、要するに青崎たちじゃかなわない相手なんだな。
Oh. I was just thinking how there's something out there that even you and Alice can't defeat.
なんてひどいやつだ。
It must be truly awful.
アリスはお腹が裂かれてた。青崎は傷ついてないところはないぐらいだ。
Tore apart Alice's stomach, and you, well, you don't have anywhere that wasn't torn apart.
子供なのに、いや、子供だから加減がないのか。
How could a kid? Actually, I guess it's because he's a kid, he doesn't know how to hold back.
How did you know it was a kid, Soujirouu? Soujirou's face was ghostly pale as he muttered nervously. Alka merely nodded in agreement.
ほんと。
Now you get it.
人の体を何だと思っているのかしらね。あのお子さん。なぬ？
What kid has the nerve to do that to someone's... Wait, what did you just say? Alka raised her head. She took a look as if she'd seen a ghost.
今、子供って言った？
Did you just say kid?
あんた、なんでそんなことまで知ってるの？
How did you know that?
やっぱりそうなのか。金色の髪なんて2人もいないと思ったんだ。そいつなら一度見かけたことがある。
He saw his human form. That was the kid in the school.
I realized it was him that day. I'd never seen someone with such golden hair in my life. It has to have been him.
青崎が口にしたような怪物じゃなかったけど、森の奥で。
We were deep in the woods. It didn't look like anything the monster you described, though.
木の実が二人がかりでとっちめようなんて怖いこと言い出してさ。金一個ないから止めたんだよ。
Kinomi wanted me to run after him. I told him no way, of course. The kid freaked me out. I knew there was no catching him.
His tone was as curious as the things he was trying to articulate. Alka, however, had more pressing matters. Much more
見
pressing.
たってどこで？
You saw him? Where?
学校の旧校舎。あ、そういえば挨拶程度なら話もしたっけ。一度だけアルバイトの時に牛肉50キロを生で届けたことがあって。
At the old school campus. Come to think of it, I might have even met him. Just once while I was working. I delivered 50 kilos of raw beef and...
Oh, that's what the delivery... Oh my god.
この大バカ
Oh my god, you absolute idiot! A strangely satisfying slapping sound rang out. Ignoring her wounds completely, Alka grabbed a slipper and threw it at Soujirou's unassuming face as hard as she could. She panted as Soujirouu was knocked completely out of his chair. For a while, neither moved.
なんで怒るんだ、青崎。
What was that for, Ozaki?
The boy asked, unfazed as he slowly picked himself up. He sat cross-legged as Alka scowled at him like an enemy.
当たり前じゃない。
What do you think?
なんでそんな怪しいこと黙ってんのよ、あんたは。
Keep something like that to themselves!
言うほどのことでもない。第一、君たちにこんな話をしても怒られるだけじゃないか。
I didn't think it was worth mentioning. Even if I had, the two of you would just gotten mad at me.
Alka knew he was right, and so she swallowed her words. She imagined
と
themselves
ころ
at
で
dinner.
今日、牛肉の山を担いで届けたんだ。一匹丸ごと。
You'll
い
never...
や、あるところにはあるものだね。お金と食欲。
You'll never guess what I did today. I delivered a mountain of beef to an animal. One animal. Rich people sure live in a different world, am I right? Ha 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 ha!
If he had actually said it, Alka and Alice's response would have been less than cordial.
それはそうだけど、
Okay, you're probably right.
本当に金髪の子供が旧校舎にいたの？
Oh, hold on, just one more second. Sorry. Was there really a golden-haired child at the old school building?
それが青崎の言う人狼かどうか自信はないけど、
I don't know whether he was your werewolf.
少なくとも街中の料理店が入れ替わりでおかしな注文を届けてるのは事実だ。駅前の大デートなんてお得意様だって。
And we've had some strange orders from restaurants in town, especially that Imperial Metropolis near the station.
確かに食事のたびにあいつを外に出してちゃ目立つだろうけど。
That makes sense. There was no way he could eat out without drawing lots of attention to himself. She did not want to believe it, but the child had to be the werewolf. Could Touko really have been so careless as to hide him in plain sight? It didn't matter at this point. With the werewolf's habitat revealed, Touko's base had been revealed too. To take over the bounded field, she needed an inconspicuous place to store materials. Misaki High School's old school building was the perfect place.
つまり全ての鍵はあんたが隠し持ってたってわけね。
You were hiding the key to this puzzle the whole time.
隠していたんじゃない。
I wasn't hiding anything.
だいたい青崎が裏山の掃除に参加していたらその時に分かったんじゃないか。
If you'd actually help with cleaning the back hills, you'd found out for yourself.
飛び丸一人に任せず青崎も掃除に出ればよかったんだ。
You shouldn't have left it to Tobimaru.
In response to Sojirou's infallible logic, Ako snapped her fingers. Instead of another slipper missile, she let the faithful white collar express how she felt. And with the tightening of the collar, Sojirouu realized something. Ako had changed. From the bed, she looked down on him with a commanding glare. Though weak from her injuries, she was as sharp as ever. You would be forgiven for forgetting she was ever a patient. She was raring to fight. Went without saying who her rage was directed at.
Aozaki?
Alzaki?
Ako responded in a vulnerable tone. Perhaps she had been taken by surprise. Now that she had an objective, she had been lost in her own little world.
ありがとう、Soujirouu.
Thanks, Soujirouu. He expected her to be sarcastic, but this was different. She was genuinely thanking him. He had never known her to be like this and was taken aback.
あのね、とにかくトウコの居場所が分かったのはあんたのおかげだから、礼ぐらい言っておこうと思ったの。
I'm just showing my appreciation because you helped me figure out where Touko's hideout is.
それがお気に召さなかった？
Satisfied?
いや、お礼を言ってもらえるのはいいことだけど。
Sure, it's nice to be thanked, but
まさかその体でトウコさんのところに行くつもりか？
are you seriously going after Touko in that condition?
His tone was closer to scolding than sympathetic. Ako simply nodded resolutely.
取られたものは取り返すものよ、Soujirouu.
I'm just gonna take back what's mine. Well, I still can.
それもすぐに相手のものになってしまう前にね。ぐずぐずしている暇はないわ。
My sister won't waste a moment, and neither will I. She sounded unshakable. Even so, Soujirouu would not back down.
勝ち目がなくてもか。暇はないと言うけど。 今はそれ以上に休息が必要だろう。
Even if you got almost no chance of winning, what you need right now is rest.
その傷だって今は見れるけど、昨日はひどかったじゃないか。生きていたのが幸運なぐらいだ。
Yesterday you were really messed up. You still are now. You're lucky to be alive.
違うわ。あれは幸運なんかじゃない。そんな玉かっていうのよ、トーコ。
It's not luck. It's Touko.
幸運じゃない。
I don't understand.
そう。トーコはね、私が生き残れる程度の傷にとどめたのよ。今回は見逃してやるから、もう一度やってこいって意味でね。
Touko. She purposefully kept me alive to taunt me, to make me try again.
だから私は生きてるんだし、トーコは私が行くのを待ってる。お互いがお互いの舞台の幕を下ろすために。そうでなければここまで待った意味がないでしょ。
She's waiting for me so we can settle the score. If she wasn't waiting, she'd have made her move already.
嫌だけど、あんたの言葉を借りるならね。
As much as it pains me to, I'm taking your words to heart. Irritation tainted Aoko's words. From the side, she looked terrifyingly serious. She was ready to fight to the death. Touko had given her little choice. Soujirouu could understand neither sister.
殺すために生かしたっていうのか、トウコさんは。
Touko left you alive so she could kill you later?
青崎はそれが分かっているのに行こうとしている。
And yet you're still going after her.
そうよ。勝負はついたけど、まだ私たちの話は終わっていないもの。
Exactly. She might have won the battle, but she hasn't won the war.
確かに全開してから行った方がいいに決まってる。けど、そうしている間にトーコは岬の深部にたどり着く。そうなったら、私の最後の切り札さえ使えなくなる。
I knew we'd have a better chance fully healed. While I'm recovering, Touko has gotten her claws into Misaki. That means I need to play my trump card.
自分にできることを自分からなくしてしまうのは。
I have to do what I can while I can. Though the pain in her azure eyes was not as deep as the pain of death, it spoke of the regret she would feel if she did not do everything possible while blood still flowed through her veins.
納得いったのなら黙ってて。
Understand now? Good. Then don't try and stop me.
いい。これは私の戦い。あんたには何の責任も関わりもない。私の人生なの。
Listen to me, Soujirouu. You're not responsible for anything. Not my life and not this fight.
座して死を待つなんてまっぴらごめんよ。勝つ気があるならいつまでもベッドで寝てるわけにはいかないでしょ。
And I refuse to sit here in bed waiting to die. Who'd do that if they felt they could win? Soujirouu was dumbstruck. Aoko could never let anyone else get involved. Whether that was because she cared or cared less, he could not tell. What he did understand, though, was that if he wanted to stop her, he'd have to do so with his bare hands. And he knew better than to try that. Even so, he had to ask one last question. If he did not, he would not be able to live with himself after leaving this room.
わからないな。青崎はなんでそこまでするのか、俺には想像もできない。
I don't get why you need to go to these lengths.
君を縛っているのは義務と強制。どっちなんだろうね。
Is it out of obligation or are you just forcing yourself?
There was a sadness in his eyes. However, Aoko was unmoved by them.
らしくなく難しいこと聞いてくるのね。
It's not like you to ask something so deep.
いいわ。口にしても仕方のないことだけど答えてあげる。
All right, I'll answer, even though it won't change anything.
その二つはね、常に私を圧迫してるものだと思う。
Her neck bandage and... What is... We are so late in the story without knowing what's up with Soujirouu. To be honest, I'm caught between the two.
けど勘違いはしないで。義務も強制も誇りも恐れも周りから与えられたものじゃない。
Don't get me wrong, though. Any sense of obligation, compulsion, pride, or fear comes from me and me alone.
トーコと戦うのをやめたところで祖父は私を叱らないだろうし、アリスも文句は言わないでしょう。
My grandfather wouldn't be mad if I stopped fighting Touko. I doubt Alice would complain either.
ここで逃げてもそれはそれで誰にとってもどうでもいい話になって終わるだけ。だから他人は関係ない。
If I chose to run, nobody would give it a second thought. That's why this is all on me.
本当に意味なんてないのよ、何にだって。
I know it doesn't make a lot of sense.
でも私はトーコから逃げたりしない。
But I won't run away from Touko.
これはただのここにいるっていう存在証明なの。
All that matters is proving to myself that I'm alive.
私は単に意味がないからこそできることは全部やるって決めただけなんだから。
I know that my life has no meaning, and that's why I can do anything. With fiery passion, Ako Ozaki had said her piece. Soujirouu was left with a pang in his chest. He did not know why, but her words angered him. Then again, at the same time, her self-confidence had him in wonder. Even though she had said that her life had no meaning, her stubbornness gave meaning to everything.
じゃあ
She gave her own
それが
meaning. That's what that actually means. She gave herself, her life, her own meaning. She chooses the meaning. She's truly badass.
So, would that still apply if...
Without thinking, he started to ask another question. Maybe he wanted to change her mind. Maybe he just wanted to hear her answer.
たとえ他の誰も見ていなかったとしても
if, say, no one was watching?
It came out as a murmur. Indeed, if no one was watching, no one could know that she had fled. This was the situation Ako was in. Even so, she shot him down instantly.
あら、見てるわよ。少なくとも私自身がね。
Someone's always watching you. Even if it's only yourself. Her expression brightened. Possibly because she had been surprised at having to state the obvious. Soujirouu was wide-eyed in shock, but Ako remained nonchalant.
知らないの、宗十郎。
Haven't you figured it out yet, Soujirouu?
生きてく上で一番の観客っていうのはね、他ならぬ自分自身なのよ。だから人生っていうのは油断ならないんじゃない？
Nobody watches you more than you. That's why you have to stay on your toes. Soujirouu did not respond to her somewhat exasperated tone, but simply rose to his feet. He looked defeated, which was not like him at all.
宗十郎？
Soujirouu?
すまない君が素晴らしいことを言っているのはわかるんだ
I'm sorry. I know you're saying something really incredible.
けど俺にはわからない
It's just... I don't understand it.
He meekly walked toward the door. As he placed his hand on the doorknob, he paused. For a few seconds, he fought with himself, desperately trying to think of something to say. No words came forth, and so he opened the door, which swung with a strange creak, and he left the room. After watching him go, Ako turned her gaze toward the window. It was nearly evening already. A thin veil of darkness was threatening to descend on the town outside. Whew. Wow, we are gearing up for the final showdown already, you guys. Oh my god. Wow. All right. With that, I don't know how many streams there's going to be left. Maybe 3 or 4, I'm guessing. What a scene. Ooh, yeah, that was chilling by the end. Holy shit. All right, you guys, in 2 days, it looks like we're gonna get right up to the way things are going. It looks like we're gonna get it right up to before the final battle with Touko, which means next week maybe the end of this, Wait, what do you mean by 100%? There's extras in this game or something? It's a visual novel. What? Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna finish this year, for sure. Like, I don't doubt that at all. Wow. We might even finish next week based on how much there's left. There's no good stopping point? Oh, joy. Well, that's okay because next time I have a longer time to stream. So, looks like we're gonna begin the climax in earnest next time. And until then, I will say, so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, good night. You're all the sweetest of hearts. See ya.